Hello there, how are you doing today? We are going to look at the Karabin sniper rifle, or the Karabin, or the Karabin, or whatever you would like to call it. I'm not too sure on its pronunciation. I've gone with Karabin because that sounds kind of exotic, doesn't it? Anyway, obviously being a semi-automatic sniper rifle, usually it's quite good for spamming. We've seen quite a number of sniper rifle weapons over the years in COD games who do a great job of that. The M21 is one that certainly comes to mind. However, I'm not going to actually waste your time too much on this video because this gun sucks, and I honestly wouldn't recommend using it. If you are forced to use it for whatever reason, possibly for camos and stuff, I don't know what you might be using it for, just don't use it. But if you feel like you're up to the challenge, let's jump into the gun a little bit more. Now, because it does have that 2-shot fatality pretty much anywhere to the body, it's very good for quick spam kills, and you'd think it'd be quite good up front and close with people, but there is no attachment to actually put a steady aim attachment on it. You can't really, the crosshairs are too big for you to get away with no-scoping people at will. It just doesn't really work out. Now, the class I really wanted to get into was using, like, the ACOG, and we'll talk about the 4x optic first. And I wanted to use that with the infantry, maybe walk around strafing with it and start spamming the shots. But, the 4x optic, it actually reduces the recoil massively. There's barely any recoil when you shoot it. But I don't know if it's the flinch or what, but shots do not register. Maybe it would have been better before they made that global flinch patch recently. But I cannot always consistently connect shots with people, especially if they're shooting at me. I just seem to flinch all over the place. The idle sway is terrible on it. Even when I put the idle sway basic training on that would stop it, it just didn't really work for me. I just still could not latch onto people. When I did kill people, it was very fun to use, but it just seemed to be far too inconsistent for me, so that's not an attachment I would recommend. But probably a little bit better if you are looking to be more aggressive. But I don't think that's a playstyle that works with this gun at all right now in its current state. Ballistic calibration is a good one if you really are going for super long range. I don't think you necessarily need it. It's just going to reduce the sway for you when you go down the scope. If you are finding the sway is too big to land those 2-shot kills across the map, maybe worth putting that one on. FMJ is always good on a sniper rifle. I think especially in this game where there's lots of head-high cover, it's going to benefit you in the long run. I like to go with extended mouse just because I want to spam people as much as possible, and I think it's a good attachment if you do decide to run the ACOG. You could probably swap that out for the ballistic calibration or the FMJ. If you were going to get rid of it, I'd probably recommend switching in for one of those two, and it's probably the most expendable attachment. Now, if you are at range, you probably don't need rapid fire as well, because you're going to have time to connect your shots. And although the rate of fire on this gun is faster than most sniper rifles, it's not great in its standard, loadout. But when you put rapid fire on it, you can really spam bullets at people, and anyone who tries to rush you down is going to be in for a bad time. Now, alongside that, obviously, I'd recommend a machine pistol as your secondary weapon. I usually go with the cheesy little S-Mine 44 for this gun, just because I play a bit more passive. I literally kind of just sit still with this gun and let people come to me, because it's the only way I can really get anything done with this. I think there's so many better weapons out there. Obviously, basic your division, unless you're using the ACOG, I think the only one you're really ever going to need is mountain. The rest of them are just not going to do much for you. You could maybe get away with armor just to get immunity to shell shock and tacticals if people are trying to get you out of a nice camping position. It's probably a good idea to put that on if you are finding that, but I think mountain is just a good one in general to have. Espionage is a great basic training. Obviously, if you tag someone, they're going to be lit up for everyone on your team to hopefully take advantage on. I would probably say rifleman's pretty good if you're not having much luck with lookout. Again, I think that's completely situational to how you play. Just having a better secondary weapon is always good, but if you've got a machine pistol or you pick up a weapon off the ground regularly, probably not necessarily needed for you. I just think lookout's probably the best basic training you're going to get. Just being able to look around and spot someone and then being able to zoom in, take them out with the gun is definitely, for me, the best one to have. Primed isn't too bad. If you are using the ACOG, obviously put that on to reduce the flinch, and you get an extra attachment if for whatever reason you would need that. And I think that's probably all I would say is worth using. I don't think the idle sway really does much for the ACOG. I just wouldn't recommend using this gun If you can avoid it, probably do that, because it's not a great weapon, and it was very painful making these videos because it sucked. Anyway, hope you... Well, I don't know how you would enjoy the video, but if you did, for whatever reason, please do drop a like rating. Let me know how your experiences with the Karabin have been going, and I'll see you for the next video.